Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Red Tape Podcast. I'm your host, Demerious Nelson. This is brought to you by For the One Media, where we move progressively forward in a conservative way. Hey, man, I just want to quickly thank everybody from around the world, around the globe, that is supporting this show as it grows and supporting the For the One Media family. And, man, it's business is booming. And the more we grow, the more content we can put out there and the more flexibility we'll have, man, to do the work that needs to be done. And that is to spread good words, free people minds, and just continue to try to be pillars in the community, because that's what everybody's here to do. But today, guys, the topic for today is the weekend. Oh, man, it was an excellent weekend. It was good. It was great. But, something I thought about while I was taking a shower, and that's most time where my greatest thoughts come from, is I think about the women and children. How important are they to the community still? Y'all stay tuned. All right, my good people. Hey, I know it was a great weekend for y'all. I know it was an excellent weekend for me. My daughter's birthday was this weekend. Man, she's getting older, and I'm getting older. That's what that means. Every birthday your kid have, it means you getting one step closer to the ground. Now, we all a part of the ground anyway, but I just feel like I get a little closer. I didn't want to be morbid. I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. So, but it's good, though. You get to see the youth and them growing and loving life, and it makes it for a good weekend, makes it for a life worth living. When you see the offspring living life and you talking to them and excited and everything like that, and they say, "Hey, I gotta go, Dad. I'm going to the movies." All right, that's the reality of your kids getting older. The less they want to do with you, less they want to deal with you. It's just part of it, guys. I'm just venting to you because I'm a little sad about it, man. No, I'm not. I'm joking, man. No, it's good, man. It's a blessing when they get older, because it means they get more expensive and life still goes on. And now they get to make all those grand mistakes. One of the worst fears I have, and I don't have many, but boy, when these kids start driving, she's like, "Damn, I'm ready to drive." No, you're not. You're not old enough. You got a while to go. Maybe when you're 21, I'll let you drive by yourself. So that was part of my weekend. I ended it last night with watching football game, the Rams and the Cleveland Browns. It was pretty good game. I don't know if y'all watched it, but then after that, what was really fun was watching the Hatfields and McCoys. I don't know if y'all seen that, but it's about a family. Two families that end up getting into it over Civil War. Uncle kills a dude, Uncle kills somebody. I don't want to say too much because I want y'all to see it, but it's an interesting story. It's got Kevin Costner, Bill Paxton, a few other people in it. And I think it's an excellent story. And it's just interesting to think about at this time when these two men of the house, and they clearly are the leaders of the families, and everybody, because of their feud, other people around them are feuding. And Kevin Costner said something that was important, and he says that the reason why this sit the way it sits because of us two, not everybody else. That's one thing I noticed in leadership. That's one thing I noticed in families. When the men are off, everything else is off. Just think about the world that we live in. So that made me think about the women and the children. Where do they play when men don't want to do what is right, when they don't want to live with integrity, when they can't get over their issues, when they are constantly warring? We drag our women and children in it. Now, I know in this climate, I know some women, I know y'all, some ladies out there feel like, look, I have an equal right to fight on the front line too. Yeah, but why? That's what I'm here for. You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, at the time, women had to do it in the wars. Women, a lot of the reasons why we made it back home. Because you think about the love of your life, the mother you had in your life, the sisters you have, the kids you have. Those are the things that keep you motivated, keep you staying alive, even in the hardest of fights. But my thing for the men is we got to stop bickering. We have to start having respect for one another and having even more integrity, because it rubs off on the kids, and guess what? Everybody around the feud end up dying because of the two that are in dispute. We go all the way back to the beginning of time, disputes. And people died because of two. You know, and the two or the one couldn't get along, so you slaughtered the whole country. So what about the women and the children? This is something that I think about. And this made me think about this because I know as a man, I am here to protect those who cannot protect themselves and those who shouldn't have to protect themselves, like kids. Yeah, you got to show them what to do, self-defense, protect themselves. You got sons, you got to raise them up, show them what it's about to be being a man, and take them to the woods and teach them to hunt and teach them to kill the meal and how to clean the meal, you know, get the food that he needs so he can preserve himself. I feel like every man should take their kids to the wilderness. And if you don't know how to hunt yourself, dad, you know, get you a guide. Kill the meat, clean the meat, and use every part of it. You know, I think it teaches a couple of things. It teaches you survival. It teaches you respect for yourself and nature. And it also shows you the importance of the man in the community, the importance of the male in the home. That's why the world, and specifically the United States, is all out of sorts, and we bickering over this and that because where men sit. Men not sitting right in their rightful place as men to be a man. We're in jail. We, you know, speaking for myself, you have kids here and you got a family there. You know, it just messes things up. And then even back then, those families that have a bunch of kids, they kept them together. And that's what we're not doing now. So we're not keeping the families together, and then we're feuding with one another. We can't come to a understanding of our differences and moving forward in our diversity. And that's what we see. So men are constantly tearing each other down. And guess what it does to the innocent people around us, the innocent men and women, the women and children around us. It's destroying them, because where's the protection if we always focus on that other person, that other man? If we've been feud and bickering with them, we can't either come to a diplomatic agreement. We can't come to some peaceful sort. Now, believe me, I'm all about war. And when it's time to go, we're going to go. We're not afraid. But we got to know what we're fighting for. We're still fighting for our freedoms, man. We're still fighting to protect those freedoms. Because I feel like we have our freedom. We're just trying to protect them now, to keep people free and then liberate others who aren't free. I think that's significant. So if we're not liberating others and we're not protecting the freedom, then we're harming our great nation. We're harming the women and children. And now the women have to go out and put herself on the front line. And now the kids are having to raise the household because the men have stepped out of line of what they should do and what their purpose is in life. And that is to protect. That is to serve. That is to honor and show integrity and live to the highest standard. Now, for me, y'all all know it's Christ. That's the highest standard that anybody could ever live to. That's it. That's the bottom line. So, man, I just want y'all to remember the women and the children and their importance in the role of life. And if you are bickering and you don't have your things in order, and then, you know what, those two that bicker, a lot of times, it don't have to be two physical bodies of this man and that man. It can be that man warring with himself and his flesh. I want to let y'all know that too. Yes, it could be two men actually bickering, but it can be one man bickering with himself and dividing his household because he is divided. That's how important the male is in the home. If he is divided, then the household is divided. And if the household is divided, then the community is in shambles. And if the community is in shambles, it more than likely is living in poverty. And if the community is in poverty, then it will not stand. It will be divided until man rise up and realize their place. I'm speaking to males specifically. You have the ability to raise the communities up. You have the ability to take them out of poverty because you do a lot of things in the community when you're there. You protect it, you provide for it, and then you teach and show and give instructions on how to keep this going, to build a better economy. And then the woman sees the vision and she takes it and helps add to it. Because you can't do it alone. You need all people. That's why we're here. That's why there's male and female, because we all have a part to play. So I want men to remember that. Where are the women and the children in your life? If you don't have a woman or you don't have children, then there's somebody out there that could need the help. Now, you don't do this by abusing them or manipulating them, easily manipulating a woman or a child for your own selfish ambitions and things like that. You got to do it for the good of the community. And if you're a man and you're not protecting those freedoms, you're not protecting the freedoms and you're not liberating people, then you're part of the problem. Because we can't do nothing with you if you're locked up. We can't do anything with you if you creating chaos in the community. But what we will do, the other men will do, we will slay you. Whether if we have to put you in jail because you're not living right by the law that stands in front of us, or you have to go. That's all I can say. But for my real men that's out here trying to protect freedoms and liberate people, then there's a place for you. There's a place for you in the home. There's a place for you in the community. There's a place for you in government. There's a place for you in non-governmental agencies. There's a place for you in the private sector. But those men have to stand up. Now, I speak like this because not all people are going to believe what I believe. But one thing we all have in common is that we are men, if you're a man, and you must stand up as one. And know that you're a man. So when I see men that's not standing up and the woman have to go out there and do everything and you got this lazy man around, where's your protection of her and the family? Where's the hope if you're selling lies? Where's the comfort if you're selling lies? If you're not moving on purpose, moving in your purpose. What is your purpose of living? So you need to find that. And one thing that can help you give you purpose is understand that you're here to protect freedoms and to help liberate. That's why America will go to war when somebody needs to be liberated. And we should continue to go to war in those other countries when people are not being liberated. And then if they want to come to our country, rightfully, you give them a path to citizenship. As men, show other men of other countries how to do it. And that's how you create freedom all around the world equally. In the church, in Christ, the Christians, we're going to go around and we're going to tell people about Christ. But if you're a Christian and your household is in shambles, then you need to start there first. There's no reason for you to go on a missionary trip because it makes you feel good and your household look like crap. There's no reason to go anywhere else if you're not in order, if you don't take care of yourself. It's just like my community. I love my brothers and sisters out there. But, I go to the gas station the other day and I see some brothers sagging. They got long hair. And I was like, man, that's all good and great. I don't care how you look, what you do. But until we get it right, maybe we need to have a certain way that we should look. Maybe we should be clean cut and presentable until we have the respect. Because people don't respect sagging. Now, the hair is a different thing. But when I see that, it kills me. Because, pull your pants up, man. You're 40 years old. Look decent. You got to present yourself, man, so people can take you seriously. And it is true that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But these things exist because the man is non-existent. Because if my son, my daughter, my nephew, anybody associated with me, and they look and they're not playing a part, then I have something to say. But that's what the man has to do. Stop requiring the woman to speak up on your behalf when you're there to speak. It's like the kids in the house. When dad speaks, everybody stops and listens. It's like the lion roaring on the safari. Everybody is paying attention and want to know where he is in that moment. That's how important the male voice is in the home. That's why kids gravitate to coaches when they don't have that in the household, because that's what the significance of a male voice is. That's the significance it brings to a home. So where are you? Where are your women? Where are the women and children? Because they both need the voice of the man. And if the man don't have the voice, then what are you doing? So you got to think smarter and understand that you're going to make mistakes along the way, but you got to limit the mistakes you make. You got to be on point. And you can't keep making excuses for why you don't have. Because as long as you have breath in your body, you have an opportunity. And we got to continue to eliminate excuses. We got to continue to help build a community. And if you're not freeing or protecting freedoms, then you're not a man to me. Because the men I know, they're about freedom, about protecting freedom, and making sure that we liberate those who aren't free. And then we got to make sure we teach. And that's one thing my group of people do. We constantly teaching. We constantly teaching each other. We constantly growing. And we don't agree on things. Trust me. I told y'all before, me vote for Trump, they still don't understand it. So now they're like, you going to vote for him again? Well, you got to find show me a candidate. I look at all candidates because I want them to pick the right person, to do the job. Now, President Trump might be driving his ship right in the ground if he keep talking about nonsense. Can't worry about hurricanes and all those things. You got professionals that can do that stuff. But when you're so consumed with yourself that all you can do is speak on the nonsense, then there's a problem. But anyway, like I said, it's about protecting freedoms, and it's about liberating people who aren't free. And then those who are free, keep them free. All right? We got to do that. Because, man, you got to always know where the women and children are. But we can't do that unless you can first see yourself and know where you stand and where you are. And we can agree to disagree on things, but the point is, let's keep moving forward. That's why I say for the 1 meter, because we're going to progressively move forward, but we're going to do it in a conservative way. Because there are rights that I feel like are conservative. There are things that I know that I want to preserve that are conservative, but I also know I want to progress forward. We were enslaved, we were slaves, we were in bondage. Now we're free, and now let's progress together. But we're still going to preserve some of those traditions and rights that help us progress. Because you need both. You need both together to move forward. All right? Where are the women and children, man? That's what I want to know. That's what I want you to know. That's what I want you to ask yourself. Women and children are very important because that's the next generation. And man, while you battling and warring, try to make a better world, the woman is trying to implement that to keep it going because she want to have her rights and she want to have her freedom as well. And that is important. So anywhere in this country, in any world, any country in the world, on any continent, if you're not producing freedom, keeping people free and liberating, you're not a man. Every voice should be heard, but there's a time for every voice to be heard too. They don't mean to speak at every turn. That goes for male or female, young or old. Because wisdom is slow to speak and have a ton of patience. So remember that, man. Let's continue to grow, have patience. Let's grow in our wisdom. Let's grow in our knowledge of, knowing the economy, knowing your politics, understanding the Constitution in America, understand the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. Know your rights. You know your rights so you know what's wrong, guys. Remember that. You know your rights so you can identify what's wrong. And for me, above all is Christ. And that's where I stand forever. All right? So continue to protect the women and children. And men, remember, if you're not doing that, you're not a man to me. And that's all I have to say about that, Jack. All right, guys, y'all stay tuned. Coming up next, I don't know what to tell you yet. I got something for y'all. I told y'all I was going to elaborate more on, value. I was going to elaborate more on the giant. And this is a part of slaying the giant. And we got to slay these men out here that aren't doing their job. Because one thing I hate to hear a woman tell a man is, you're not a man. And then when she right, that hurts me double times, okay? That hurts me times two because, brother, the sister's trying to show you something, but you're mad at her. But you're not doing your job. And you settling for mediocrity. See, one thing beautiful about Christianity, anybody in Christianity that's settling for mediocrity is this is injustice to themselves. Because Christianity is all about reaching high, the gold standard. There's nothing mediocre about Christ. You name me somebody that's willing to die for somebody else. Man, that's what you got to do for the women and children and yourself. If it comes to that, by any means necessary, we're going to get the job done. All right, I'm not going to ramble on anymore. I just want to talk to y'all and put that on your heart today. All right. Hey, this is Demerious, and it's the Red Tape Podcast brought to you by For the One Media, where we move progressively forward in a conservative way, always and forever. That's how we're going to continue to move, guys. Hey, y'all stay tuned, man. Y'all have a great day, all right? I said stay tuned twice. Lord have mercy. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Peace.